Hey viewers, welcome to another game with Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing another Asus tournament finals match, and this is on the map Daybreak. Previous one, by the way, was Antigua Shipyard. For those of you who still want to know, it is probably in the description by that time. But yeah, well, it is between TSLPolt and MStephano. Or Stefano, I don't know how he wants me to pronounce that, and we are probably going to see a similar, strategy as the last game. Well, we will have to see, I guess. So, are we going to see another no, come on. Yeah. This trick. Oh, come on. Extractor trick. That was what I was looking for. So, yeah, by doing that you can get another drone in production a little bit quicker. You get a little bit more money. You also lose a little bit of money by doing so. But in the end, I think it's worth it because people keep doing it. And another drone scout here, because the overlords are so slow and it will take them forever to get here. And yeah, the drones can traverse the entire map pretty quickly, and that is why people still use drone scouts even though they get the free overlord scouts. And yeah, it is worth it because, well, you keep one of the SCVs off of mining, and yeah, you get a lot of information and things like that. So anyway, we see once again only one barracks into gas geyser, and that means that the expansion can be made with no problems, followed by a spawning pool, and he will have some oh wow, getting the kill on the SCV there. Wow, that is actually quite impressive. And yeah, we will see the Zerglings being out before there's any pressure from the Marines, if there is any pressure from the Marines. At this moment, this drone being chased down by this Marine, but the Marine is not as quick, so it is not going to be a problem. So once again, the Automaton 2000 on the map. It's kind of funny that all of these little creatures are here, but yeah, well, that's what this game is all about, right? So we see a bunker being built, but with these 4 drones you should easily be able to make that up, well, to take that out, to make sure that it never gets finished. Yeah, for the Terran player this is well worth it, because these 4 drones haven't been mining for a while, and yeah, with the SCV going down now, there's no way he's going to send in another one to finish this bunker. So he's going to cancel that indeed, and taking out 1 drone. Ha! So getting the revenge kill there for killing his SCV, and actually equalizing it there. So currently we see 2 queens out versus no units at all for the Terran player, and yeah, that's how we see that quite a lot, because, well, the units really early on a big map like this really don't do a whole lot, and the more you invest in economy early on, the better you're going to do in the late game. So that's what most people are going for. Roach Horn going down, this time going for roaches instead of the Zergling, come on, Ultralisk. And Circling Ultralisk worked fine, but it depends on what your opponent is building. Obviously he's going to build some Hellions once again. I wonder how many this time, because last time we saw him build 6 and he didn't really get to do a whole lot with them. This time 4, but he may not be done yet. and he is indeed going to go for 6 once again, because there are 2 more in production, and then he's going to switch the starport with this factory. And if he's going to build a starport, which I'm assuming, because the meta effects are so strong. So yeah, these Hellions are there for 2 reasons. First of all, to scout, and second, to take out as many units as I can. They're really good against drones, because they get clumped up and they take quite a bit of damage from the Hellions. Also, well, the Zerglings get taken out pretty quickly by the Hellions as well, and you can see that here. Taking out about 6 instantly, and against the roaches they really aren't good. And same goes for the Queen, they are just a little bit too tanky. They have too much armor, and it takes them a long time to destroy that. But in large numbers they will still do well. Obviously they have larger range than for example the Queens, and yeah, he's doing a good job of just harassing this Queen and actually gets it. Wow, so a revenge attack here. Well, actually he was getting the revenge there, but the drone's getting taken out here. At least they're under pressure, but with these Zerglings coming out, I think he's got this. And indeed everything goes down, and on this side, yeah, they did take down a supply depot, but that's not really a big deal. And all of the roaches get taken down in this nice little yeah, the small area, the choke point as it's called normally. So yeah, we see an expansion going down here. I'm not sure if the Zerg player has seen that. This is the Zerg player. Yeah, he did see the expansion, so it's not a surprise. And he is going to expand another time and having overlords all around the map. This one is going to scout this expansion, I'm assuming. And he has an overlord over here as well, just to scout this expansion. So all in all, doing a good job of scouting here and keeping track of what is happening on the map. So the Zerglings sent to this one to make sure that there is no third expansion, or second expansion, third base. And yeah, the Zerg player will still be ahead because of that. And the Zerg player needs to be ahead because he loses minions a lot, or minions, come on, units a lot quicker than the Terran player does. And we see most of the Zerglings making it out. This time going for more of a marauder heavy composition in the beginning of the game, because he saw roaches, and against roaches the Marines really don't do too well. The marauders on the other hand are really good against the roaches. And they don't have concussive shells yet, so I'm not sure if that's in production or did it just finish? No. So it's not in production then. And wow, these Zerglings, man, so many Zerglings. But all of the units get picked up in the medevacs, and the medevacs are going to fly out of that because he has no he has no units that can shoot the air except for the Queens. And we will probably see more on that, or well, see some of those. So going for the 1-1 upgrades here. Also the Terran is leveling up the weapons, level 1. Siege tech is being researched. So kind of the standard going into the mid game. And picking off this one Zergling with a huge army. Now actually dropping everything to make sure he can heal it. And then after he healed it, the whole army can go back out. So the Zerglings have been found now, and that is probably the reason, or the kind of trigger when you want to expand. So I'm assuming he wants to expand again. because this base is pretty saturated. This base is getting low on minerals, so he needs to expand to stay alive, to keep his production up. And yeah, apparently going for this base. Yep, there we go. And having his yeah, he captures this watchtower, making sure he has all of this vision on the minimap, as well as going for yeah, just a little bit of a troop here to make sure that the enemy isn't coming in. But the enemy, obviously, because all of his Zerglings got discovered here, doesn't know what's going on, and now he does know that there is an expansion coming in. So yeah, it's not a big mystery. And leaving one marine at the watchtower to keep vision on this entire area. And the same goes for this probably Zergling. Yep. A huge amount of Zerglings over here. And they are going to engage in this fight now with the marines, but the marines are just running back, and you can see this I was looking for the siege tank that actually did that. Oh, it's all the way over here. Wow. That siege tank took one shot and actually killed like 5 Zerglings. And that is the strength of siege tanks against those pesky little bastards. You can obviously put them a pretty long way away. I didn't know it was this long, but apparently you can. And building a whole bunch of supply depots to wall this off, but it has no protection of these top 3, or well, these top 2 supply depots plus bunker, because the bunker isn't loaded with anything. But it is the reason the bunker is there, to make sure that he can actually defend those top 2. And yeah, getting the siege tank in a really safe position. I don't know if it's a little bit too safe, because as I said, the top part of this wall-in is still unprotected. But obviously the Zerg player doesn't know that right away. Wow, these Zerglings. How many Zerglings does he have? 166. And going for some infestors as well. 4 infestors with that. Infestors seem to be really, really good in this game. And especially versus marines and other bio creatures. But even against air, they are really good. And we see the Zerglings split up and scout out this base because he wants to expand as well. And the Terran player has to retreat. So I'm assuming there will be a hatchery coming up here in a minute. And in the meantime, the main bulk of the Terran army is over here. Lots of tanks, lots of marines, not a whole lot of marauders, but there aren't any roaches anymore, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And the infestors, yeah, they aren't armored, so they take virtually no damage to kill. A little bit of a harassment going in here. They're not going to be able to do anything. Yeah, they burrow because yeah, he would like the Terran to scout that with his scan. Because the scan takes away a lot of gold, because you could use that on you could use that same energy on a mule, and a mule gets you a lot of minerals. That's what I meant by gold. Yeah, the minerals you waste by using a scan is definitely not worth it, and these Zerglings will probably pop up and take out the supply depot once he remembers that he actually has them. But at this moment he is fighting this fight, and the Ultralisks are coming in and are going to slice up these marines. And now retreating a little bit. So 1 marine still left. And yeah, now it's 35 marines versus with no other backup. Well, I guess, yeah, there are still 8 tanks out. I forgot them. So the infestors coming in and getting the scan over here, which is not going to reveal these infestors, I think. Although it might. Yeah, they got taken out, so might have been good enough. Yeah, takes out the investors, the ultralists, and about 3 more ultralists ready to engage in this fight. But they're not going to engage directly, they're going to stay back a little bit until they have a good idea of what they're facing, and then they can attack multiple units at the same time, because they do splash damage. And so do the siege tanks. That's why these ultralists get taken out so quickly. With 4 siege tanks there hitting both of the ultralists, yeah, that is going to be a slaughter. And yeah, seeing from the map, the Zerg player didn't get to expand here because he just couldn't defend that, so he expands here. So there's now 5 bases. I don't know if every one of them still has minerals. No, this one is mined out. So there's 4 mining bases with a 5th one coming up. And we see a little bit of a poke here. It's not a huge amount of troops, but it is still going to be very, very hard to deal with that. And this ultralist got rally pointed to the wrong position, and he loses 1 base. So that's now 3 mining bases then. Against the Terran, who currently has 3, is going to build 4. This one's already up, and is going to build a 5th one. But yeah, this one's mined out, and yeah, the others are still good. So it is now 3 versus 3 bases, mining bases, and that is a big deal, because for the Terran, having equal bases to the Zerg is a huge advantage. There is no way the Zerg can deal with that. And that is why the Zerg is keeping an eye on this one to make sure that this one doesn't start mining. He does have an overlord here. I'm not sure how much he can see. He doesn't see the base at all. So that's an easy answer to that. Hang on, now he has 5 bases up again, so 4 mining bases, because only his main is mined out. Main being the starting base, for those of you who don't know. And building a huge amount of Zerglings all the time, man. 63 Zerglings still out. And yeah, they are just swarm creatures, so you need to build a lot of them to make them as effective as possible. Because as you can see, the small amounts really get taken out really easily, and yep, in larger amounts they can take out the groups pretty well. So the Terran, in the meantime, while dropping there to kind of distract, I guess, taking out a base here. I'm not sure if he actually wanted to expand himself, because he has this base, which is blocked by a Zergling underneath it, so it cannot land. And this base gets taken out now by a full ground troop. There is nothing that shoots air, so he could have just lifted that up, and apparently it doesn't have the APM. Obviously I missed it completely, so I shouldn't really speak. But then again, teachers don't have to be able to do it themselves, they need to be able to tell how it's supposed to be done. Anyhow, the Terran coming in with a pretty big army here. Lots of tanks, yeah, all the way over here even. And yeah, that's a big deal here. And going to probably own this, and I have to answer the door for a minute. And we are back, going right back into the action here. And yeah, we see the Zerg player doing pretty well here with his, well, counter siege. Well, not counter siege, she's just taking out all of the siege tanks here. And in the meantime, no real bases got taken out. This one was the Terran's base, it was already taken out. And more of these, well, small units being used to hold this off. Obviously, the Terran is still at an advantage here, but with the huge amount of bases on the map, that doesn't really mean too much. It is all about how many units can you actually gather up before you need to attack, and that is, well, when this base falls. So sacrificing this base to make sure that his army doesn't die instantly to the Terran base, Terran army. And the Terran army is now probably going to regroup, get a few reinforcements there, and then engaging once again, because at this point in time he is a little bit stronger than the Zerg player. He knows that the Zerg player is amassing an army, but that he doesn't have a big enough army to actually take out this army. And indeed that is what's going to happen. The Zerg army now engaging here, getting a nice fungal growth on everything, but yeah, the medevac is just healing for too much and not able to take that out. So another base is going to be lost here, and I think this is the end of the game, because there is really nothing the Zerg player can do apparently. He has the wrong unit composition against these units. And there we go. Yeah, he didn't have anything to deal with a huge amount of Marines while taking tank fire. The only thing, yeah, that he could have done was to select another unit composition, but he really couldn't switch this late in the game, and he had to stick with what he had. And obviously, with the amount of income dwindling because he lost the base, he couldn't really make a big enough army to squash this Terran, Terran army. And the Terran already starting up, well, going to start up this base, and yeah, oh wow, Terran was almost mined out. 2, 3, this one doesn't have minerals anymore. So only, oh, this one isn't even mining, wow. Only one mining base at the moment, and this one, yeah, just got transferred, so that's 2 mining bases. Versus, yeah, there's no minerals there, no minerals there. This is virtually mined out, and this is the only one, and this one was taken down right at that moment. So that's why he surrendered. I thought the Terran had one more mining base, because this one had been there for so long, but he apparently didn't see the Zergling and just never landed the command center. Yeah, I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. GG.